Now we're looking at our fruit, and many times we just pray for the fruit, and we're really going to get into it tonight, looking at the roots. And so what's the real cause? Now, reminding, don't pray around the world. For effective prayer, it's not a general prayer of please God heal. We're teaching be short, command, do a checkup, and if necessary, pray again. So we left it last week that there's a battle for the mind, and what you think about will affect your body. That's the way it goes. There's something about the mind physical connection that controls your chemistry. And what and how you think is important. For as he thinks in his heart, so is he. Proverbs 23, verse 7. Our thoughts control our biochemistry. So tonight we're going to look at thoughts of fear. Fear is a major factor in so many diseases. And I particularly look at Henry Wright and a lot of his teachings. And if you look at what he says, so many of the diseases has fear in it. And so one of the hints I give for people, if you don't know what to pray, sometimes start with fear, because it's probably got a 50% chance of being one of those roots, if not the major one, a minor one. Well, what does the Bible say about fear? For God has not given us a spirit of fear, but of power and love and a sound mind. Well, the obviously question, if God didn't give fear, it says there, who gave fear? And of course, the answer is Satan. And so we can look at those things. When thoughts of fear come in our mind, that's not God. God, is loving and caring and has good plans for us. And if we're fearing destruction, that's coming from a different source. And really, that's how Satan really turned around Adam and Eve, by creating doubt. And then the first thing that we need, that what was an evidence that they were afraid of God. So Satan wants to control your thoughts, and fear is the most common way Satan can control it. We could look at other ones, but fear tonight is the major one we're looking at. God created us as emotional beings. We are emotional beings that think. The problem is, many times our heart rules our head. And even in the last week or two, I've been talking to people that have been going through issues, and their head tells them that what just happened is nothing, but their emotions are ruling. And so we've got to understand, even though that we are thinking and cognitive, our mind and our thoughts can control us, not from a thinking point of view, but our emotional things that come up, and the fear, they're the things that actually can rule what we're doing. So what are the effects of fear on the body? Why does Satan, how does he do that? And so we know that cortisol is a naturally occurring steroid, and it's important for short-term fight or flight. Now, what happens is some of the body turns off. You don't need your digestive system. If you're going to run or fight, you need energy. You need all these things. And so God has designed that for fight or flight, cortisol comes into your body. But it should turn off, just like a tap, when you're finished the fight or you've run away. But we call the cortisol drip if it keeps continuing, like drip, drip, drip. And it's present on a long-term basis. It's just like, you could take medicine from the chemist and it says, be careful of the side effects. Cortisol is designed for short-term fight or flight. But if we take it long-term, meaning we've got fear, it actually can destroy our immune system and other things. And so fear can destroy that immune system. And we've been looking at, why have it been damaged, that's the mechanism for it. So the effects. Cortisol drip means we're unable to resolve fear, anxiety, and stress. We're unable to turn off the tap. Over the long term, especially in areas of relationship, we keep thinking about the pain or the fear or what might happen. Well, we're going to look at an example. The primary root cause of allergies is not feeling safe in love and relationships. So what does the Bible say? You know, we're talking about allergies and maybe looking about drinking milk. The Bible says, these signs shall follow those who believe. In my name, you'll cast out demons, you'll speak in new tongues. They'll take up serpents and scorpions, all fine. If they drink anything deadly, it'll be no means harm them. They will lay hands on the sick and they will recover. Mark 16:7-18 states, even if we drink poison, now, please, that's really by accident, it will not hurt us. But the world is saying, oh, don't drink milk, you might have an allergic reaction. And I don't get that. The Bible says we can even drink poison and supernaturally God will protect us. But you're telling me something God has made like milk is damaging us. You know, and we talk about the promised land, a land of milk and honey. So all these things don't make sense. Well, let's look at peanut allergy and the mechanisms. Now, many people consider that's probably our hyperhygienic world that has contributed to the increase in peanut allergy, meaning, you know, we clean everything and are super clean that our children aren't being, their immunology is not being stimulated because we're hyper cleaning things, or maybe it's those chemicals, or it could be fear. And really what Henry Wright was looking at was projected fear into children. Now, the mechanism might be the same, the cleaning, but it's really the words of, don't do that, don't do that, don't touch that. There might be germs, danger, danger. And so what we're actually putting in fear into children, don't do things because there might be danger. Whereas children need to grow up in this loving, caring, and safe environment. And even, you know, if they're eating dirt, now actually God's designed for all that type of thing for them to stimulate their immune system. And so just by projecting fear. Now, if we looked back at other things, we can see in other allergies and other things like the milk allergies, it's the same type of mechanism, fear. And so Eunice and I were praying for a young woman in Cambodia, and she came out for prayer. And as soon as we showed, yeah, there's fear all around Cambodia. And so we prayed for her. And so we said, go home and eat a piece of cheese. You know, just a little bit, not a huge amount. But then she came the next morning and she said, no reaction. And she was so happy. Well, the spirit of fear is a fear of not being safe, particularly in this particular case for allergies. But there can be so many things under that spirit of fear. And so we're going to go and look at more things over the next one. But thoughts of fear, controlling your mind, what might happen, you know, is how Satan can damage us and, you know, keep that cortisol drip growing.